Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining. Today's fly I'm going to tie, it's not about the particular pattern, it's more about the movement of the fly. As you've seen the introduction, you've seen the fly swimming. You can do all different types of patterns, whatever your favourite pattern is, say a woolly bugger or a zonka or a dancer, whatever it is, you can apply this method to your favourite fly. So the fly I'm going to tie is just going to be a basic tadpole type fly, but like I say, you can put your own spin on it. But it's the actual movement of the fly using the offset bead, which catches a lot of fish. So in the vise at the minute, I've got a Alec wet hook. It's a size 12. I've got gunmetal offset bead, which is 3.3. Now you can see the bead on the hook there. It's got a big hole at the back and a small hole at the front. You can mount these whichever way you want. You can turn it around and have the big hole by the eye. It covers some of the eye sometimes, depending on the size of your hook. But basically what I'm going to do is tie it onto the hook so it's in that mode. So the offset of the weight, it's like a pear shape. The offset of the weight is underneath, and it actually turns your hook over, similar to obviously a jig hook. The thread I'm going to tie with is just black 75, can be any black thread, but I'm going to start off just before the eye. And then snip it off. And then I'm going to go over the other side. And then I'm going to do figure of 8 over the top. Just to get this tied down. You don't want it to be moving. Want to put a little bit of super glue on as well to keep it in position. So I'll make sure it's sitting right. Check that. Yeah, that's looking good. I'm going to put a little tiny drop of super glue on that thread for security. There you go. So there we have it. You can see it's offset. Now this is obviously what makes the dancing motion when you're in the water, depending on how you're stripping it. You can do jerky retrieves, which will put a lot of action into the tail of the fly. You can do long, slow draws, which will just a slow undulating as well, but it really gives life to the fly. So, or lure, whatever you want to call it. For the tail, I'm going to put a tail in here, marabou tail. So I'm going to use black marabou. So just put a bit of thread down the body so it can grip onto it. So get a marabou. I don't want this really thick. I want the tail to move a lot. So maybe about 1.5 inches, 1.75 or so, like that. And then pluck out all the fibres. So take out all the fluffy bits. So as the the heat of the summer's gone now, obviously, and then the fish are starting to chase a bit more when they feel comfortable in the cooler water. And this is a great pattern to fish on a floating line or a midge tip. You can change the size of the hooks, you can change the size of the offset beads as well, just to whatever you want. It's just basically to describe the action and how to tie one up, really. So we'll put that onto the end. Now we'll want about 2 lengths of the shank. So we'll just cut that. Tie it in. And then what we'll do for the body, you can do it again. This is just an example of how to tie. It's more like a tadpole type fly, but you can do your own thing. What I'm going to use is for this one is some UV straggle fritz just for the body. This one is in 8mm, depending on the size of the hook. Obviously depends on the size of the straggle fritz you want to use. This just gives it a nice bit of UV in the body. So we'll tie this in. Stroke it back. We'll just do touching turns all the way along the body. Then we'll tie that off. That back a bit. Take to the front. And then I'll put a little bit of super glue on the thread just before I tie it off. And there we have it. Very simple tadpole type fly. And then obviously when this gets wet, you can nip the stragglers off, make it, and this gets wet. The tail action on this is lovely. As you, well, hopefully you've seen it in the video before they started, but you can do all different patterns, but this offset bead makes a big difference to the movement of the fly. So get some tied up, do your own favourite pattern. You know, you can do it with a zonkai, you can do it again, like I said, with dancers, whatever fly, catch whiskers, whatever fly you feel comfortable with. Give it a whirl, get some tied up, give us a shout, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and check out the other videos. Thank you, cheers now.